going sideways.
Yeah, right?
All right, Operation Rock and Roll is a go. Rock and roll it.
What's up, guys? It's Flex Friday Live, a show where the creators of YouTube channels The Story Till Now, Dirt Garage, and KC250 talk about off-road adventuring with special guests. If you're watching live, you can join in too on the live discussion in the chat window. Brought to you in part by Epic Adventure Outfitters. And now, here's your hosts, Casey, Clint, and Sean.
All right, we're live. What's up, guys? It's Flex Friday. Flex. It's Flex Friday Live. You guys didn't clap? Come on, you got to clap. We got Flex Friday. Oh, man, I can't even say Flex Friday. This is ridiculous.
First the glitch trailer, and now
Flex
you can't even talk.
Friday live number 6. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on this.
Doing this, I can't believe.
I can't.
Still coming back.
I still don't have the intro down. You notice that I've done myself a favor for the introductions here, and we have Clint here from Dirt Garage, and he has a graphic now. So
that's awesome.
You can tell who he is even if you tuned in after the intro. What's up, Clint?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. We also have with us, of course,
I'm just
Mr. 250, who also has a fancy graphic that I lifted right out of my show.
You put those together really quickly.
I did that real quick, like
great.
5 minutes ago. Somebody, Casey said, "You guys we should have little name graphics while we're on this." And I said, "Hold my beer."
I'm all about showing up late and coming with ideas.
Yeah, decent ideas sometimes, not so decent ideas other times.
Whoa, hey.
Whoa.
Sorry, man. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man.
Good.
Busy
I'm,
week, right?
Tired. Lots in the hopper. We maybe got a camping road trip coming up with you and I, hopefully.
Yeah, is that 2 weeks from now or
next weekend?
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas is like 2 weeks away.
That is ridiculous. I can't believe that, but I'm pretty excited that's going to be the last video we're filming of the year. So I'm excited.
Say forever with you and I.
Yeah, that's the last video we're ever filming together. Didn't you see that comment from the guy who told me I have to not hang out with you anymore?
Yeah. Man, I couldn't sleep after that.
That must have hurt your feelings real bad. Yeah, it's going to be our last trip of the year, so that's I'm excited about that because that's going to be a good trip. We're meeting up with some other YouTubers, which is cool. We'll keep that a surprise. How about you, Clint? What you had a good week? Did you have a good week? I can't speak.
I mean, I had a pretty good week. We did a solid axle swap on a Toyota pickup. That ate up about 3 days of this week.
Yeah, it sounds impressive. It would.
Yeah. So I think it was Monday. I posted on my Instagram. This truck started the day at IFS, and then there was a picture of the truck with the solid axle already hanging under it.
Nice. Well, you sent me that. You sent me a picture of a bunch of like parts on the ground, and you said IFS junk.
All the junk we cut off.
Yeah.
So that was we probably spent at least 15 hours just with grinders, cutting all the stock off of that truck.
Your ability to swap axles is incredibly impressive.
I did my own solid axle swap on my truck. I did it once and then I redid it to lower the truck. And then this one, so I'm pretty well experienced with this at this point.
You said 15 hours of just grinding stuff off. What would you say the total time it takes you to swap an axle?
Okay, so 3 days.
Just nonstop, no sleep?
Yeah. So probably 2 of those days were probably 10 to 12 hour days, but not even bad.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably more time than I've spent modding my Jeep all year.
I don't know anything about solid axle swaps because every Jeep or every off-road vehicle I've ever had, which has been a Jeep, already had solid axles. So what exactly goes into a solid axle swap, Clint? Why don't you give me a quick rundown here of what all this entails? Because I know the end result.
Yeah,
that's about it.
You know where you're going.
Yeah, I know where I'm going, but I don't know how to get there. This is kind of usually how life goes for me.
First step is pretty much unbolting all of the IFS that you absolutely can, and then spending many hours with a grinder, and then depending on
and shooting slow motion grinding footage.
Yes,
of course,
very
important.
That speeds the process up.
Do not miss that step.
Yeah, you cannot miss that step.
Very important.
And then when that's all cut off, you then have to put your hangers up. We did a leaf spring solid axle setup. It's cheap and easy. So you just put your you weld your hanger to the front under the front cross member, and then you need to drill or cut out 2 holes in your frame to mount the shackles, and you weld in frame tubes there, and it's essentially ready for a solid axle to be hung after that.
And how many solid axle swaps have you done? He has to think about it.
You can't recall on your head. This would be a pretty big thing for me. If I swapped an axle, I would definitely know about it and never forget about it.
Yeah, it would be an unforgettable month.
My own and most of my friends.
I feel like every time we talk, you're doing a solid axle swap.
Not necessarily. I'm always doing something big, whether it's an engine swap or
occasionally an engine swap, not a solid axle swap. But there's a lot of swapping going on in your garage.
Yeah, you know it.
How about that 6x6 swap? Have you thought any more about how?
We talk. Come on, Clint.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So wait. Let me just qualify this by saying, after last week's show, when I suggested to Clint that he do a 6x6 Toyota pickup, he messaged us and said, "Thanks, guys. I've been researching 6x6 conversion parts all day." So, update, Clint. How are we doing on the 6x6?
I think we're going to go with the Toyota 6Runner.
Yes. I love it.
I love it.
I want to see this.
The 6Runner. That's such a great name, too.
Because I don't think it's been done yet.
That's your road to 100,000 subs right there. The 6Runner. Man. You can sell merch and everything.
The Dirt Garage.
Yeah. So is this an official announcement? You're going to do a 4Runner 6x6 conversion?
I don't want to make it official.
It's official, boys and girls.
I really want to do it.
It's official.
So, what do you use? I mean, I guess I haven't done any research. And has your research led you to figure out what do you use for that pass-through axle? Because I think that's sort of the linchpin in the build, right?
I wouldn't be doing a pass-through axle. I would have
wait. What's a pass-through axle?
When the driveline goes through the front axle and connects to the rear axle.
Okay, I know nothing about 6x6s except that they're awesome and they're what you need.
So what I would be kind of figured is I need a second transfer case with 2 rear outputs, and they're staggered. One is a lot higher than the rear one. And the rearmost axle has an offset third member, so the drive lines can connect. And I'm thinking to use Land Cruiser FJ60 rear axle because it's already offset. So I tried to put some thought into this.
Interesting way to do it. Yeah,
it's the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah, because I was trying to think where would you get a pass-through axle like that? It would be. I don't know what would be.
I tried to research that, and there's nothing that I could find that at least was somewhat affordable.
Yeah, well, I think that's the kicker, right? Is you can probably have something made for you for a bajillion dollars.
Yeah.
And I guess you wouldn't really have to worry about handling high horsepower either. So it's not like the Stradman's Gladiator that has 7,000 horsepower.
There's not a chance it would go fast.
I think go would be the objective.
Going period. The fact that it drives will be that's what I'm going for.
If it drives, that's the goal.
If it's drive and it's 6-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Well, I for one would love to see that. I think.
Yeah, I'm on board, and I think everyone wants to see it. I just want to give a quick shout out to Valley Girl 00711, our number one fan here in the chat room for the last few weeks. She said, "Hi guys, great content this week as usual, but special mention to Sean. Great footage was awesome. Thank you very much for the super chat."
Thank you. Appreciate the support.
Anyway, this week has been nuts. I am super tired. We actually almost canceled this show tonight because we're all so busy with kind of trying to wrap things up for the year and get a bunch of editing done. I know myself, I've got three different videos on the go that I'm editing that I'm trying to get done this week. It's just crazy. This year has been nuts, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, in Christmas season, right, where we're trying not to spend the entire holiday season filming and editing. So to keep up with my goal of one video a week every week, I've got to throw a few in the hopper to take a break. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, things to take holidays, you want to queue up a couple videos.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it means working twice as much.
Yeah, we don't really, if you're doing YouTube as a job, like we don't get holidays, and if you take a break without uploading, you get penalized by
the algorithm,
by the YouTube algorithm.
I don't think a lot of people know that either.
Yeah, so it's basically like you have to. I'm shooting 2 to 3 videos a week right now because I'm trying to be able to take 3 weeks to a month off for a break because I've been doing at least one video a week every week since January. And I'm starting to feel a little bit tired.
I know the feeling.
I know it's a fun job, but it's you're out wheeling on the weekend. You're editing. You're out wheeling. You're editing.
Yeah.
You're doing meetings for business stuff, and it's just nonstop.
A solid axle swap for 3 days and get a 6-minute video.
Yeah.
I think too. We were kind of just chatting about this before, and this year is, I've been doing weekly uploads for 2.5 years, and this last 6 months has been some of the most tiresome 6 months because, just everything from COVID to just the unknown, right? And at the start of January, I had 6 months planned out of what I was going to be doing. So it alleviates a lot of that stress and pressure and trying to figure out what's next, what videos coming
Casey,
next.
I'm taking away your name tag because you said the bad word.
Bad word.
I keep forgetting.
Just got the show demonetized. You've lost your name tag. It is gone. Sorry.
But and it's so every week seems to be changing, even just the last few weeks with how provincial policies have continued with travel restrictions and everything around that. It just, you make plans and then you got to cancel plans and you got to spend more effort trying to fill in those gaps, and then you make new plans and they get canceled again. And
so many plans.
I think that's why it's been so tiring the last 6 months or so without being able to really create a schedule. And when you're trying to travel and arrange collabs and meet up with other people and, just trying to coordinate multiple people to be in the same place at the same time is a lot of time and effort. And then it just all gets swapped around at the last minute. So, like next weekend, I was just before this, I was trying to figure out where we're going to go, what we want to do, because everything keeps changing. The place that I was originally considering going isn't open because of the word we don't talk about. And so now it's like, where do we go? Right. What do
you
we
lose
do?
Your name tag again.
Name tag off. And so it's been really interesting. I do really look forward to being able to make some long plans. And people are asking what everybody does for jobs, and you guys do a lot more time with YouTube, but I work full time as well, so I have to coordinate vacation time and scheduling with my teams and stuff like that. So it doesn't make it easy to travel right now.
You said you had 6 months planned?
Yeah, I had that.
That's impressive, man. I can barely keep a week schedule.
I have to, right? I think for me to work 40 hours a week at a day job, plus do YouTube, plus side businesses, and trying to have people go to a place where, say, we're renting a house and we need to make those plans way in advance. Not every single week for 6 months was planned out, but a lot of the weeks were where we were going to be, who was traveling with me, and things like that.
Impressive.
All right. Well, I'll give you your name tag back because I'm a nice guy.
But it's fun, right? It's a hobby too. So
we got a super chat question from Kyle. He's asking, new Gladiator Rubicon. Upgrade wheels and tires 35s or bumper and winch first. I live in CA. I'm going to assume that's California and not Canada. Focus on overlanding, not crawling. That's interesting. I would usually say that bumper and winch is pretty much the first upgrade on any off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
But depending on where you're going, I mean, if you need the bigger tires to get over stuff, then you have a chance of getting stuck. Yeah. So winch and bumper first. Always my opinion. Agreed,
Winch.
boys?
All right. I got a story to tell to go with this.
Ooh, here we go. Story time.
Oh.
Stories.
Saturday night, somebody posted in one of our local 4x4 pages at like 1 a.m. Asking for help to get their Jeep unstuck. That was like 30 kilometers up a Forest Service road. And it was way out of service. And it said they posted at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was clearly daylight when they took the photo.
Wow. Yeah, they've been there a while.
Rough day.
I talked to this guy and I was like, hey, we'll come we'll come help you out at like 10 a.m. He's like, awesome, thank you. I go pick him up, and it turns out that he walked 22 kilometers from where he got his Jeep stuck
to sell
out to where he
service?
can get service.
Oh man.
And this was a completely stock Cherokee with no lockers. I think it had like a 2-inch lift, but no winch or nothing. And not only did he get stuck, he ended up breaking his front drive shaft blew up. Went in the process of
this
getting
is how
stuck.
you learn these lessons, though, right?
Yes. And like
We've all been there.
30 feet in front of him, there was a perfect tree that he could have winched himself out if he had a winch or any means of recovering himself. I mean, he was out by himself. Like, there was no one else in his Jeep with him, and he didn't have anyone out there with him, period. So overall, it wasn't a great situation to be in, but he could have been a lot better if he had some way to self-recover.
A winch is so important.
It is. Like, that is the first thing anyone should do, honestly.
It gets you out of so many situations.
Yeah.
A new Rubicon anyways is going to be extremely capable and is going to get you in far more trouble than larger tires are going to get you out of without a winch. And, even if you break something, you can get through hard parts, maybe in two-wheel drive or with a broken component with a winch, right? And that's pretty much my essential. And I think for me, it's like, if you want to come wheeling with us, you need a winch on your rig. It's just, that's a requirement. If nothing else, you need a winch.
Eli disagrees. He's in the chat saying light bars first. So
he sells lights.
Good work,
I feel
Eli.
like he's a little biased here.
Oh, man.
Maybe a little bit biased.
Yeah, and I think someone there said in chat said like a high lift or something like that. I mean, if you can't afford a winch, that's maybe a second best. But
if you can't afford a winch after you've bought a 4x4,
a brand new Rubicon,
you can afford a winch. If you're going out,
should be getting a winch.
honestly, you can't afford the tow out of the forest if you don't have a winch, right? So
it was Chef John from our vlogs a few weeks ago. He's got a 4Runner and we're working on figuring out what mods we want to put on it so that he can come out with us. And
another rear axle.
Number one. What's that?
It's another rear
he's
axle.
He's getting some work done at Epic, right?
Yeah, we're getting a lift and some wheels and a winch bumper. There's a lot of things you gotta change to make it.
Especially on a Toyota.
Close to a Jeep as far as components go, but we're getting it done. He likes 4Runners. I think it's a great looking rig. I think 4Runners are a really nice vehicle, and a little bit more street friendly with the IFS. And he doesn't want to get into like crazy rock crawling and things like that we would go
it's all
into,
about getting the vehicle that it's all about getting the vehicle that does the thing that you want it to do, right?
Yeah.
So that you can do the things you want to do.
Right?
No, and there's no perfect vehicle for every situation.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we put a kitchen in it so that he can cook for us when we're out.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of kitchens, I was looking at that. What's it? I don't remember what it's called now. The
one you sent.
The thing. Yeah. It's like what's it called?
Not a tonneau
cap?
cover.
A truck cap?
Yes.
For the Gladiator. It's called the Smart Cap. I forget who makes it, but that thing looks awesome. I looked it up because Paul got a couple in at Epic for some people are putting them on their Gladiators.
Oh, okay.
And I looked it up. The RSI Smart Cap. There it is. Somebody put it in the chat. Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. RSI Smart Cap. Yeah. I was looking at that, and I've never really been a fan of those kind of truck caps. But the way they've done it, it's kind of like a combination between a truck cap and those what they always put on the Australian trucks, like those big metal things that have compartments in the side.
Okay, yeah. Like a utility thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's really expensive, but I was thinking, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Would that look good on my truck? Pull-out kitchen too for truck beds?
Yeah. That was cool. And yeah, that's why I sent you the truck cap thing, the smart cap thing, because it has a kitchen that you like pop up one of the windows on the side of the smart cap, and a kitchen. That was
pretty slick.
Up. It's pretty slick. I don't know. It's pretty overlandy, but I was thinking it might be practical for some longer trips.
We need to build out a kitchen rig for Chef John to drive.
Yeah, and then, just have it follow us.
We can have the hardcore rock crawlers and go anywhere we want.
Yeah, let's park it at the Dirty and Dangerous house when we need we need meals.
Yeah, no, if the guy, everybody in chat and watching this, go check out the ARB one too, which was pretty cool. We saw that. I think it was just announced a couple days ago. I'm
curious what people would think if they think that RSI Smart Cap would be a good idea or would look good on my truck, or if it would totally like just ruin the entire vibe of my truck. I don't know.
I think the challenge you've got with your truck is if you put something like that on that, and then you've got the rooftop tent, you're getting really tall.
Well, no taller than a rooftop tent on a Wrangler, right?
Well, that's the thing. That's the challenge, right? Is I'm not sure how much I want all that weight up there all the time. It's really going to change the dynamics of how the vehicle articulates.
Well, I already have the tent weight, so we're only talking about the difference in weight between a bed rack and the cap, right? Which I assume there's definitely more weight, but still, like I don't think it's that much more that it's going to be significant as far as wheeling.
And so then would that give you a fully enclosed space over your truck bed?
So it's fully enclosed and lockable. It gives you a compartment on either side for storage that you can put stuff in. So instead of mounting it on the outside, you can just put it in a compartment. And then, you've got, and plus it's body height, so it's a little bit higher than what I have now. So I'd have secure storage for some of the longer trips that I'm planning to do next year with the fam.
That's the challenge.
We can keep our suitcases and stuff in there, right? And then we can put the tent on top of that. I think it's a pretty good solution. It's a very expensive solution. So those smart caps cost $5,000 plus accessories. Yeah. So it's not exactly, it's
not. What would be cool is if they had one with an integrated rooftop tent in the top 6 inches of it.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. So then you just add the entire cap to your bed, and then you get a pop-up rooftop tent as part of that.
Yeah, or some kind of camper conversion, right?
Yeah. I want to see that.
An idea for somebody out there. He's trying to make what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. When you say it's $5,000, I'm thinking that's more than my entire truck cost.
How many solid axle swaps would that be?
One.
Yeah.
Well, it's like $3,000 for a solid axle swap, like all said and done.
So what is that? That's the donor vehicle cost?
No. So you can pick up those Toyota axles for like $250.
Yeah.
And then the kit itself comes with the leaf springs, the hangers, the differential rebuild kit, your wheel bearings, all your seals, the high steer kit, so moves your steering above the leaf springs, and steering stabilizer, and everything. Shock hoops.
So you're buying an axle, then a pre-made kit, and then welding it together.
Yeah.
Okay. Who makes that kit?
Trail Gear.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few companies that make kits too.
You should get Trail Gear as a sponsor because they make all the Toyota stuff.
Like their biggest customer.
I've been trying. I've spent so much money on Trail Gear's website. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. The problem is you're like exactly their target market.
I know. They'd just be losing if they sponsored me because I got to buy the parts anyways.
But the thing is, exactly their target market is also your audience.
I know.
They should be sponsoring you. If anyone from Trail Gear sees this, you should be sponsoring Dirt Garage. Who else does this Toyota stuff? Like old Toyota truck stuff? That's
not very many on YouTube.
They might be affecting their bottom line too much if they if you stop buying from them.
He has done a lot of solid axle swaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
People asking questions about your new Rhino rack.
Oh, my new Rhino rack? What's the question?
Or is the rooftop tent going on it?
No, the Rhino rack is over top of the cab. If I put the rooftop tent there, it would make it extremely high up. The Rhino rack is going to be for gear. Just saving some space in the truck bed. I can throw tents and stuff up there. Maybe some. I'm gonna get some of those cargo bins or whatever that you can put stuff in. So
that's what I was gonna ask, if you're gonna buy some dry storage. To
probably get like a couple of Front Runner Wolfpack boxes or something like that, and they have mounts for stuff like that. And I might throw my Max Tracks up there as well and get them off of the.
That'd be pretty slick.
The side mount, because the Yakima rack that I have back there is really poorly designed, and so their traction board mount, the way it sits, they rub on the bed and it's scraping the paint off my truck bed. So,
oh really?
Thanks, Yakima. Your stuff sucks.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. It's okay. I don't like their stuff anyway. So.
Can you put a light bar on the front of that Rhino rack?
You could, but it's kind of it's a couple of feet back from the windshield. So I don't think it would be an optimal place to put a light bar.
Yeah, I've seen some on like the jails and stuff. They put a rack over top of the hard top where the freedom panels aren't, and then people are putting light bars on that, so they're essentially over the middle roll bar where the light would be. And I always wondered like how effective.
But then
would that be? You have a sharp cutoff, right?
Yeah, because you got to cut off, so it's not going to be effective at all. It's going to shine light up in the trees, which
just up in the sky.
Yeah, that's not very useful. I've already got a light bar inside the cab. I've got that Quadratec Stealth light bar, and I've got lights on my bumper, so I don't really need any lights on the rack. What I am going to do, and what the Rhino rack Pioneer tray allows for, is it has kind of conduits for wiring inside. So I'm going to put some lights on either side for camp lights, so you can light up your campsite.
Yeah.
And then they've got it set up so you can run you basically can't see any wiring because it runs inside the rack. So I think that's a pretty nice setup.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about with the Gobi rack, was doing lights down the sides of it so that when you pull up and park somewhere and you're setting up camp, you could illuminate the whole camp with lights that are 7 feet in the air and wide beam pattern and things like that.
Yeah.
Would be
I'm going to be working a lot more. I'm going to be redoing my whole lighting setup, really. So and my whole power setup, really, in my truck. I've got a lot of stuff I'm working on.
Are you talking about that yet, or is that still in
I'm talking about everything. But I just wanted to mention real quick, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about in regards to the Rhino rack, we just installed the new Rhino rack backbone system for the Gladiator, which is something they showed at SEMA last year and just finally came out recently, and we got the first one in Canada. We just installed it, so shout out Rhino rack for sending that over to me, and awesome. It's a pretty nice setup. You'll see it obviously in a future video.
So with that, the Rhino racks on the jails and stuff, they have an interior brace. So does that also braced as well? On the...
It's the same setup as what you do on the JL. There's like a couple of brackets that go near the back of the hardtop by the roll bar and supported on the inside, and then there is holes you have to drill in the hardtop to mount it to the roll bar, but it's load bearing, so you can get up there and stand on it, and it's rock solid. It's pretty nice. I'm pretty excited about it because I've wanted a kind of platform over the cab for a while, and now I have what I think is probably the best one out there.
Yeah, they seem really popular with the JLs for mounting rooftop tents. So lots of weight capacity, right?
Yep, absolutely. So I'm still figuring out exactly what I'm going to do there, but pretty cool add-on.
We got some beer money in chat here from Up
Beer
North.
Money. Thank you, Up North Adventure, with the beer money. Cheers to you, my friend. Always much appreciated.
Cheers to the sparkling waters.
Always with the sparkling waters.
Never ending.
How many sparkling waters did you drink?
And for anybody that hasn't seen Adventure Burger, that's a
high quality movie right there. Yes.
That's still on my
award.
TV
It's an award losing film. So Make
I'll be
sure
coming in the living room and
Make
I'll
sure you
hear
check it
our
out.
voices and the music, and Maddie's watching it on TV.
that's awesome. How many times has your daughter watched Adventure Burger?
I don't know. She really likes it though.
Yeah.
She's like, this is pretty fun.
We had a lot of fun making that. We should do another one next year at some point.
100%.
Yeah.
Adventure hot dogs. Or
Adventure hot dogs.
Bacon burgers too. Adventure Burger 2. Return of the Bacon.
Should we pick up a couple of questions from the chat here? Say hi to our chat room people.
Sure.
Yeah, I haven't been doing a very good job at tracking questions here tonight, but
Yeah. Somebody asked if I thought the truck would be top heavy if I did the Smart Cap with then the rooftop tent on top, but I don't think there'd be that much weight difference.
yeah, I think you just constantly have to think about where you're going, what you're doing, and what makes most sense, right? And
Yeah.
And as I think about adding a rooftop tent to the JL, it's sort of like,
Wait, what?
well, I'm definitely reducing. My
You're gonna go
rollover
camping?
Angle.
What?
Hmm?
You're gonna go camping?
We're going camping next
You're
weekend.
getting a rooftop tent?
I ordered a new sleeping bag. I am hoping it arrives before Friday.
What kind of sleeping bag do you get?
It's a Browning minus 30 degree sleeping bag. It weighs 12 pounds.
Minus 30. You're a madman. Mine's
wanna
only
be
minus
cold.
20 and it weighs a ton. I have such a
Yeah.
hard time packing it up because it's so big.
It's 12 pounds.
12 pounds? Yeah, I don't know. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really wide too. So it's like a
So
almost
pack into a stuff bag the size of a 60-inch flat screen, right? Something
Well, I
like
figure
that.
if I get a rooftop tent, I can just leave it up there, right? It'll never have to take it down.
No, it doesn't work like that, man. When you
No?
got to sleep, when your sleeping bag is that thick and heavy, you can't fold up the tent with that inside. You got to take it out.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, challenge accepted. I can't wait to see this. I'm gonna watch.
We'll make a video.
Clint, have you thought about putting a rooftop tent on your truck ever? Or
Not my truck, but the Corolla.
oh, that'd be funny.
Yes, that would be awesome.
That'd be good.
That's the overlanding rig.
Yeah.
That would instantly triple its value too.
I know. I need some sort of roof rack system. I've been thinking about designs and how I would fab one up, and then a tent on there it would just look so cool.
That'd be amazing. I had a friend who wanted to put one on his side by side as well, but I figured it would probably be a little bit too heavy for the top. That would be top heavy.
Yeah, and if I ever put one on the truck, it needs to be like flush with the bed. I don't want it any higher than, or you've,
Yeah, that's the one thing about the thought of putting this Smart Cap on the truck is then I end up with this tent on top. But I also have the rack over the cab now. So if I got the tent a little bit higher, then I can, if I put some stuff over top of the cab as well, it'll kind of balance out the height and it won't look as stupid.
Yeah. Straight axle Corolla.
What's so funny, 250?
It looks so stupid.
Hey.
Just looking through some of the questions here.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Here's a good one. How did you guys all meet each other?
On the internet?
YouTube.
YouTube.
I think I commented on one of Sean's videos.
Yeah. I think you messaged me on Instagram.
It might have been it. I might have saw your videos and then Instagram messaged you.
Yeah. We all
Okay,
started
pretty
talking
cool.
around the same time, sometime around the beginning of this year. And
Yeah.
then I had this idea of starting a group chat to talk about YouTube stuff and
Here we
then
are.
then we just started talking every day, and now we got a live show,
We have a show.
Flex Friday on Thursdays.
Yes.
So many people are triggered by that.
Yeah, I get a lot of
You guys know it's not Friday, right?
Yeah, why is this on Thursdays?
It's Friday somewhere, okay?
Yeah.
Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Good times. What else we got for questions?
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy week. So, you know what I wanted to talk about was the new Gymkhana video.
Oh, Gymkhana 2020 with Travis Pastrana.
Did you guys watch that?
I watched
I did,
that
yeah.
like
Everybody watching
an
this
hour
last night,
ago, and I was like, "What? What? It was so good."
Yeah, I kind of feel like he upstaged Ken Block significantly.
Yeah.
So when you sent me that link, I thought it was going to be a Ken Block video.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What? Travis Pastrana?" And then it was so funny. And he started off with that crazy jump over the bridge. Yeah. What? That's like crazier than anything I've seen in a movie.
You guys see how many GoPros he took off on the dock shot? Or his
really?
Watch it. There's literally like 3 GoPros lined up on the dock, and his tire hits every single one of them.
That shot where his tire went off the dock when he was doing the drift?
Like 3 GoPros.
What?
Yeah. Look crazy. Just beyond.
That was crazy.
That production wild shot. Just
man, I love those videos just because they do so much stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, I got so many people asking in the chat what happened to my suspension because I made a comment somewhere online that my suspension is all messed up. So let me just address this. What happened is a year of hard wheeling in a wet and muddy environment, and the joints on my control arms and track bars and all that stuff are not really designed for our environment. They're designed by Evo for a kind of dry desert environment. So I'm here. I've greased everything fairly regularly, but because it gets so wet and muddy, and I'm not exactly easy on the suspension. Every single control arm joint, every track bar joint is completely toast. Yeah. So I've got death wobble. My shocks are going. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So needless to say, that is the next project is upgrades on the suspension of the Trail Wrecker.
It's interesting because Brad at Trail Recon just started releasing his best suspension for Jeeps video series, and I'm curious to see if his next videos will talk about maintenance and longevity. And I'm not really sure if he will, because it looks like they're all just putting a bunch of fresh new parts on Jeeps and taking them out and trying to determine which.
You sounded kind of salty when you said that. That was a little salty. The way you said that was kind of salty.
Well, the thing is, it can be misleading, right? Because this is basically what's happened to us, where we've looked at other people doing other stuff with their suspension setups in the nice dry desert Moab climates, and it's the same conversation as tires, because where you wheel makes a huge difference in what parts you should be using. And my experience with 2 fairly expensive suspension setups, both on the JK and the JL, is the JK has the same problems as your Evo suspension, where it's a high maintenance suspension, and it's much more susceptible to getting dirt and mud debris in the joints. And once you start getting them in the joints, it causes friction, and then they start unwinding or coming apart, and you get the same issues that you've had with yours. And I've replaced a few joints on my rock crawler setup and have to constantly be greasing them, where that was a big factor with choosing the TerraFlex system with no maintenance, right? For the areas that we wheel in, and
that's what I'm going with as well.
Tires.
Yeah, I'm going to get the TerraFlex non-serviceable stuff as well,
yeah,
because lifetime warranty, you don't have to grease it. Hopefully that'll be the last control arms I have to buy for this truck, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least get more kilometers out of it. And so I'm curious to see if Brad will go into that, because I really do think that's a major factor in choosing your suspension, and not just going for what has the most articulation or what is the easiest installation. But I think the environment that you're in plays a major factor.
Yeah, and, for sure. And it's worth noting that almost all Jeep parts are not made in Canada. In fact, I can't think of any that are made in Canada. Like everything's made in the southern United States. Yeah. For the most part, right? So it makes sense that stuff's all designed for that environment and not for our environment. And we have a very unique environment here that is wet and muddy and salty and all of the things, right? Salty, just like Casey.
That's salty. I just want to make sure people understand, because you go and see that on a huge channel and you instantly go, well, look at how great that one performed, and then you take it up here in BC and it falls apart in 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a huge opportunity for somebody to start making Canadian made parts that are designed for this Canadian environment. I just don't know if if there's the market for it, or if it's difficult to sell to U.S. customers and whatnot.
High abuse parts.
Or like stuff that's made for wet environments instead of dry environments. I don't know. It's very unique here. We have very unique wheeling. We have very unique needs for our trucks. It's much different than what people are doing down in the U.S. And I think part of that is really the reason why people like our channels. I think because it's so different up here.
Yeah, the same goes for like other things like coilovers, like King coilovers, super popular down in the States. I don't know anybody that's running King coilovers around here that just get destroyed in the mud and the swampy trails that we're hitting and the snow and stuff. And just the maintenance on them is extreme. And so it'd be interesting to see how your new suspension makes out. But I've had no issues with the TerraFlex stuff for the
Well, I'm hoping it works out good. We got a question for Clint in the super chat here.
I see that. As a noob, not to car, but having built my 4th Gen 4Runner for it all, 19K USD. What lockers work best, Clint, for a 4-liter V6? So we kind of went over this last week. I am a big fan of lunchbox lockers on something as new as a 4th Gen 4Runner. I don't know if I'd recommend that, especially if it's a daily driver. But for your 4Runner, Toyota did come out with e-locker versions of the axles, or the rear axle anyways, for that. And you could probably find a reasonably priced one at a junkyard to pretty much bolt in and have a locker. So that's where I'd go with that.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't know what else to add on to that.
Yeah, I was just waiting to see if you were going to say something else about that before I jumped in. I've seen a couple of times people have asked in the chat as well, what's the best budget rooftop tent? I've had two Smitty built rooftop tents. They're
that's what I was going to say.
About $1,000. I think there's other ones that are basically the same you can get for cheaper that are not as much of a name brand. If you find just somebody who's importing them from China, basically you can get them for about $700 to $800. Nice. Yeah, I think so. Canadian. Yeah. That said, I don't think I could ever go back to one of those tents. But for somebody just getting into a rooftop tent, you can't really go wrong.
It seems like there's a really wide array of rooftop tents out there, and that might be a future video. Maybe I'll do something on the channel once I get into rooftop tents a little bit more. But
what are you going to get?
Pardon me?
What are you going to get for a rooftop tent?
We'll have to see.
Oh, it's a secret.
We'll have to see.
I've unplugged my headphones.
Everything to come together first. So
I can't hear anything.
I don't want to make too far forward-looking statements, but we'll see how it goes.
There we go.
But I've seen some other, I think like Justin B. McBride had an interesting video of this ultralight rooftop tent, which I think he was saying it weighed 60 or 70 pounds, and they've cut out.
That's all really light.
Yeah, all the unnecessary.
Oh, pieces. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I saw that.
The company.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but I've seen a bunch of them on Instagram. I think you're gonna have to look at quality on that one and see if it's worth it. But I do like that somebody's trying to do like an entry level hardtop tent.
Yeah,
which I think has been missing from the market space.
Market, yeah.
Mitch Flies says it's a GFC super light.
Oh, there you go.
So that's pretty crazy. And just by comparison, the rooftop tents I've been looking at are around 130 to 150 pounds. So you're looking at half the weight over a regular hard shell rooftop tent.
I'm not sure how much my iCamper Skycamp Mini weighs, but I know it weighs less than my Smitty built.
I think it's 130.
Tent. Yeah, something like that.
It wasn't super heavy.
It was definitely lighter than the old one I had, which is nice, even though I just never take it off the truck anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It lives there.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess it matters. It's still weight on the back of the truck, but it hasn't been an issue for me, obviously.
Nice. So I was browsing Instagram earlier today, and I came across Epic Adventure Outfitters page, and I saw the new Gladiator build. Do you guys see that?
Not yet.
Oh man, that thing looks so cool.
Paul has a huge gorilla on the side of his truck.
Yeah, it's insane.
I saw it on his Instagram story. That is
That's where I saw
awesome.
it too. It looks so cool.
Man, how do I bring up? Oh man, I wish I could bring up a picture of it. I should have prepared this beforehand. Go to Epic Adventure Outfitters Instagram, and they just posted a pic according to them in the chat right now. Yeah. So Paul has a gorilla on the side of his truck. It looks insane.
It does, yeah.
I've known about him doing this for a while, and I've been really excited about it. I'm thinking maybe I need an animal on the side of my truck. I don't know.
What
like a
would-
bear, a black bear, a grizzly bear, like digging up the trail or something. I don't
Just
know.
ripping the trail.
Just ripping the trail up.
Yeah.
I put a link in chat for anybody who's watching who wants to go check it out right now.
Check that out. Look at this guy. He's all technical.
On it, yeah.
Yeah. You're
You need to
definitely
be able to
allowed.
put web pages up on the stream.
You can keep your name tag now.
I've earned it back.
Yeah, well, it's been there the whole time, but you can keep it. I'm not going to take it away. I'm not going to
So I'm
abuse
just
my
looking at
power.
Paul's rig, and yeah, that's something else.
Something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I just clicked on the link that you posted in the chat room.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that gorilla. That is an insane looking gladiator. Well, I was going to say if you haven't seen it in person, but you probably haven't seen it in person. I'm probably one of the only people who has. It is huge. It's several inches higher than mine. The lift on it is nuts, and that's an EcoDiesel Gladiator. It's
I think the color
very cool
That's
truck.
that Hydro Blue.
Looks
yeah,
good.
really good.
Very nice.
Paul, do you want to jump in here on a video chat and tell us about your truck?
What size lift is on it? Like,
Yeah,
do you think it's really tall? What
Maybe
lift
we
is
should
on
talk
it?
about your truck. I don't know. Let me know if you want to join in, and I'll send you an invite link to the Zoom call here.
Phone a friend.
Yeah, we'll
no,
just
that's pretty wild.
Have
It's gonna
you
have some trouble.
randomly.
on
Otherwise, we
carry.
can do another time if you don't want to. But since you're in the chat anyway,
Also
Send the
it
invite.
over.
send the invite. All right, I'll send it
Perfect.
to you. Where am I going to send it to you?
So is that taller than your Gladiator now with your roof rack? Because we were talking about the
His is definitely taller than mine.
and we're talking
Oh,
about the ferry.
I've killed the video feed. I've
no.
ruined everything. Hang on a sec. All right, you guys can continue talking. I'll sort this out.
All right.
Well, we were talking.
Oh man.
Sean and I were talking earlier. So the ferry has an interesting height requirement of 7 feet, and if you're over 7 feet, you got to go down on the bottom decks, and you can't stay in your vehicle. You've got to get out and go with the rest of the walk-on passengers. So it's always been sort of a target of mine is to stay under 7 feet because I want to be able to stay in my Jeep and sleep half the time because I'm usually bagged when we get to the ferry. And if I start going over 7 feet, then I got to get out every time, and we got to park in the lower decks. But these are island life problems.
I fixed it. We're back.
Oh, video is back.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Whoops.
Technical difficulty.
All right, I will go back to trying to figure out how to invite Paul to the meeting.
Yeah, so be interesting to see. But I'm just looking at the pictures of Paul's rig. Man, he's got a lot going on already. We've got Evo sliders on it as well.
Paul, I'm going to send you a link on Facebook.
There you go. And I'm looking at that as a half rack. I'm assuming there's going to be a rooftop tent going on here.
Do a backflip.
He said he's not. He said he's not going to do a rooftop tent. He's getting some crazy Australian tent or something. I don't know. I'll let him
Some crazy
kind
Australian
of
tent.
explain what it is when he gets
Okay.
on here. I'm just going to remove our name graphics because they will be in the wrong places.
I
There
know,
we
I
go.
lost my name.
We don't have names anymore. It's crazy. All
It's
right.
okay. You can still kind of see the name.
I was asked-
the Zoom name.
I'll address a quick question. Vinny asked me here earlier about my Terraflex Nomads and do I like them? So the wheels that I have on the JL are Terraflex's Nomad wheels. And if
Nice
you
wheels.
follow me on Instagram, I just swapped out the rash rings from their black rash rings that they have to the new multi-piece red ones, and I think they look really sharp. But they have these awesome deflator valves on them that I have set to a specific psi to
Fast
air down to.
deflating. Oh wait, you can set the psi on those. They're not just fast air out.
Yeah, it's set to 12 psi. So I just open it and it stops at 12 psi, which makes airing down awesome compared to trying to use a air down tool.
Anyway, we have here Mr. Paul Brassington, who has a large gorilla on the side of his Gladiator. Link in the chat room. Paul, what's going on with the gorilla?
What's going on? There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I did that. It kind of
Random idea.
Is there at any time a good reason to say let's throw a giant animal on the side of your vehicle is going to be done? No,
I think that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah. No, it's on the drive home tonight. I got stopped 3 times at the traffic lights on the drive home. So we're like, hey,
you got a gorilla on your Jeep.
Yes, I know that's on there.
Yeah. Somebody didn't just stick it on in the parking lot at Walmart.
That's amazing.
We did it. Trying to do graphics like that is you have to use the right material, and so we didn't want it to be super reflective. Like when we did the giant epics up the side of our vehicles before, we had that as like super reflective material. So I didn't want the whole thing to be reflective. I wanted to be somewhat understated.
Wait, really? You wanted it to be understated, but you got a giant blue gorilla on the side of your Gladiator.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed in that picture. Of course, I had to outline it with neon green because it has to stand out. So we made the teeth are reflective and the eyeballs are reflective. So when you hit it with light or a camera flash, it's this cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely stands out. When Christian gets his Mojave is hopefully coming soon. When we get the Mojave, we're gonna do a werewolf or something cool on the side of that as well.
Nice,
right?
Sweet.
So that should be pretty cool. But no, it's just something different. I've been in car culture a long time, and so that's kind of more like your 80s and early 90s Japanese car culture where they put those crazy crazy characters and stuff on the side of their vehicles. So we thought, hey, let's do that and mix it with a bit of 1980s Saturday morning cartoon vibe. Nice. So I don't know. It's it works. It's something different.
It definitely matches. That's such a bright
because it's different.
Yeah, that's such a bright blue color too. And then you've got the blue gorilla. I think it's amazing. Should I put a grizzly bear on the side of the trail wrecker?
Well, of course you should. That's a rhetorical question. Of course you should.
Trail wrecker.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious.
We're all just gonna go with animals now.
Claws out or something.
So Paul's EcoDiesel Gladiator is the biggest, brightest Gladiator that I've ever seen. When I park next to him, I feel what's the right word for this? Insignificant, inadequate. I feel inadequate when I park next to him. So what did you tell? Why don't you tell everyone what you did to your EcoDiesel Gladiator?
So essentially the suspension on it is the same springs you have. So we did the Evo 4.5 inch plush ride springs. I just like how those handle. It gives you a very nice ride, but they do sag the moment you start adding a bunch of weight to it. So, and I think over time it probably sags as well as what you have. And then you have the very first copy of those springs. They've been updated since then, I believe. So that probably has something to do with it. But we did that. And then as you were talking about earlier with our climate and those kind of things, I've run Evo lifts a couple times before in different vehicles. As you're talking about the joints, the Johnny joints in them just aren't really made for our climate. So they break down, you can rebuild them, which is fine, and you got to grease them and all that kind of stuff. So I just went with the TerraFlex IR, they are bushings and they're Alpine arms. So with those, essentially it's non-serviceable joint, but it's got, lifetime warranty. It's still got a great amount of flex to it. It's quiet. Never have to worry about it. So we've had those on quite a few vehicles. So we did all 8 arms on there, on the Gladiator. And then we did, obviously the sway bar links and all that kind of jazz as well. Extended bump stop, sway bar links, kind of custom put it together that way. Because the engine is heavier in an EcoDiesel, and we're doing a couple EcoDiesels pretty much a week now, no problem when we're doing these. We use a 1-inch spacer on top of those springs. So when you do that, it just brings up the engine. Yeah, it just kind of levels it out because the engine is about 300 something pounds heavier.
That makes sense.
So that just levels it out. And it turns out it's nice and level, looks good, drives really nice. I'm using Falcon 2.1 shocks from TerraFlex, Falcon shocks at the moment. When they come out, keep bothering our rep like every day. When they finally come out with the 3.3s or the 3.5 electronically adjustable ones,
Yes.
we've got a whole bunch of those on order. So right now, I'm going to be careful because we're installing a bunch of 2.1s on all these eco diesels everywhere, and we're going to be swapping those for 3.3s. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of extra 2.1s when those come back. So we've got like a dozen plus on order for the first order. So we've been guaranteed to get those first and get those in Canada first and work on those. So really looking forward to that because I love Falcon adjustable shocks. They're amazing. But the 2.1s are great option as well.
Nice.
And then we have Maxxis. I've never run Maxxis tires before. So I actually had a long talk with a lot of people down south and also in Australia. Everybody loves Maxxis tires. They put them in all the Land Cruisers, those Maxxis Razor MTs. So I thought, let's get those. So far, I haven't really had them super off-road yet. Sean and I are going to go check them out next week here off-road. But
Yeah.
they're super sticky. I find them super sticky. So I don't know if they're going to really last all that long, like Nitto Ridge Grapplers or Trail Grapplers were, or any other kind of brand like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how those go. So yeah, those are 38 13.5s, and they're on a 20-inch black Rhino wheel.
Yeah, the wheel looks like a tank wheel or something. It's a nice looking wheel.
It's called the Abrams. Yeah, they call it the Abrams wheel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they a
that's
bead
pretty
lock?
cool.
No, they're not a beadlock. No. I have no patience for beadlocks. Just install them.
My patience has run out already.
Definitely,
Sean knows what I'm talking
I've
about.
had beadlocks for like 3 weeks and I hate them. What? No, sorry, I don't hate them. I just I realize what a predicament I've got myself in.
Why don't we unfold that a little bit? What do you
Okay,
think?
so
Why
first
do
of
you like
all,
the bead locks?
there are a lot of work to mount tires onto. So if you need to put new tires on them, it's either going to take you a lot of time or a lot of money or both. So there's that, and they require a lot of maintenance, which is fine. But I need new tires, and when I don't know. Long story short, I've got to get new tires soon, and I saw how much work it was to put the tires that I have onto the bead locks.
Yeah.
And now just to have to go through that all over again sounds like a hassle. Also, the offset is wrong on my bead lock wheels, so the tires stick out really far.
Yeah, what offset did you go with?
I think it's 3.5.
Yeah,
so it's
a
JK it's a JK offset. So
Yeah,
they're basically JK wheels, I think. Yeah. So I guess the other ones I had would be 4.5.
Yeah, usually 4.5 or 4.75, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So for somehow I thought they were the same, and I messed up somewhere, and so they stick out so far, like they stick out about 2 to 2.5 inches past the fender flares, which is a little bit too much considering
It's pretty aggressive.
Considering how aggressive the police are about that kind of thing here. I don't want to end up in a situation where I have to go get an inspection. So
That would be a rough day.
yeah, so I'm thinking I'm still trying to figure out I need new tires next year, basically early next year at the latest. So depending on when I get new tires, I'm either going to put them probably on the wheels that I had before, or I'm going to look at getting something else. So I don't know. Maybe if you're watching this, let me know.
Nomads are nice.
I do like them, but I don't want to look like your truck.
Maybe I'll swap you. Maybe we'll buy something new and we can.
You want some bead locks?
Not those ones.
I got a set for you.
Nice try.
Hey, you've got a JK. You know.
Yeah, it's got bead locks. Haven't you seen it?
Ugly ones. Let's be real.
Ugly beadlocks.
Those are trail readies, man, with the competition rings. They're awesome. Those things-
I'm going to point out real quick that Clint, you've completely failed in your one job tonight, which
I was waiting for this to end to say we should
your
close
one
off
job
tonight.
was to give away the Freedom Recovery Gear soft shackle for this
They
week.
got his name tag.
I was gonna say let's finish this off with some questions because we got a shot.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, hit us with all your questions in the chat right now. We got 143 people in the chat. You must have some questions for
Paul
us.
is giving away his Jeep to the best question.
Paul is giving away his Jeep. That's crazy. Paul, I'm super excited to go wheeling with your Gorilla. Wait a minute. So it says Con above it. Is that the name of the Gorilla, or is that the name of your Jeep, or what?
It's kind of it's the name of the Jeep. We're gonna call it Con. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice. So your next Jeep will be called the Wrath of Con. There we go.
This is just the build up to that Jeep.
Yeah, this is just
the
your
build up to the next Jeep.
yeah, your foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we're going to wait for a few questions to roll in here, and then Clint is going to pick the question because that was his job. And then if you need to be in Canada or the United States if you want to win a soft shackle, we have a soft shackle from Freedom Recovery Gear, who makes amazing recovery gear, and they're all handmade. Very cool stuff. You need to be in Canada or the United States. I'm going to need your name, phone number, address, emailed to Sean@thestorytellnow.com if you're chosen
And
as the winner.
credit card number.
I don't need that, Casey, but thank you. If you want to give me your credit card number, dirtyanddangerous.com. We got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers. You can put your credit card number in there. Appreciate the support.
All right. Well, I think the best question we got here is from Colton. And it says, would love to know how long you guys have been into wheeling and what got you into it, as well as what your first off-road rigs were. So I'll start.
Ooh. Okay.
I got into it with my current truck. I haven't been into wheeling for very long, maybe starting 3 years ago or so. I got my Toyota pickup. I got the truck specifically to work on it. I wanted a vehicle that I could work on myself and learn how to do mechanics on, and then it slowly turned into the beast it is today. And you can't just own something like that and not use it.
For sure.
And yeah, that was a few years ago I got into this. How about you guys?
Casey?
Yeah, well, I've been wheeling with my own rig for almost 4 years. So we started out with the bone stock JK, the red one, and slowly emptied my bank account into it. And but I've always been a big car guy, so I've been wrenching on cars since I was a teenager, and I went out wheeling a few times with some friends here on the island, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. And the challenge with the car community here on the island is there's not a lot of places to go to really enjoy your car, right? There's not, like you can't enjoy it like you can off-road rig on the trails. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was very appealing to be able to. You
mean you can't wheel your Corvette?
Yeah, well, if we hit 1 million subscribers, we might. And
6x6.
Yeah, 6x6 Corvette.
Lifted Corvette. What am I doing at 1 million, guys?
We'll do the conversion. That'll be perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
And so I just found 4x4ing a lot of fun because you don't have to worry about getting pulled over other than to and from the trail if your rig's too crazy. But it's nice to be able to enjoy a vehicle to its full capabilities and not worry about getting arrested. So that was really kind of a attractor to me. And then we started going out and seeing more places and experiencing more locations, and that was just a lot of fun. So here we are.
Yeah, right on. For me, I was living out of the country for a few years, and I moved back. And when I got back, I started going camping a lot with a buddy of mine, and I bought a Mazda Miata at the time because
ultimate camping mobile
for a car.
Ultimate camping.
And when my friend said camping, I didn't know he meant like 20K up in the backcountry. So here I am, like wheeling this Mazda Miata, and he's like,
wasn't at a hotel.
he's like, man, why don't you just go on Craigslist and spend $1,000 and buy like a Ford Explorer or something so that you don't trash your sports car? And I was like, oh, okay. And I started looking into it, and before you know it, I bought a XJ for like $3,000 or so, and and then spiraled from there. And that was about 2014. So I've been wheeling for about 6 years. Paul, you want to get in on this?
Yeah,
You've probably been wheeling longer than any of us, eh?
Yeah,
because you're so old.
I'm like super old. Where do I start with? I started with Samurais. So Suzuki Samurais. I had some Suzuki Samurais, spring over axle lifts and 33-inch tires, which are huge on a Samurai, if you can think of that. I went from Samurais to YJs. One of my favorite trucks was an 88 4Runner. I had a really great 88 4Runner. It was awesome.
Thumbs up from Toyota Clint over here.
Of course. Love to hear that.
Yeah, the after replacing the back window and the fenders about 80 times, and it was a really great truck. And then I got back into Jeeps after a bit of a hiatus, got into a new JK, and then had the white JK, had a couple JKs. Then I've had JL, now I've had 2 JTs. This is my second JT. So
and a diesel at that with a giant gorilla on the side.
A giant gorilla on the side.
Here we are.
All leading up to that.
There's no obstacle that you cannot conquer with that gorilla on the side.
No, definitely not.
Nothing.
Definitely not. But, no, I got into the newer Jeeps because we're driving such long distances. When you're driving to California, or you're driving to Mexico, or you're driving to Arizona.
Yeah, the storage.
You can do that in a YJ, but you're not going to be comfortable.
No,
so it's kind of like, I think it's time to upgrade and get a decent vehicle with some creature comforts inside with still all the same capabilities. So that's why we're in where we're at now. But
that was a huge factor for me buying the EcoDiesel too. Right after multiple road trips down to Oregon and all over the place in the JK, I had enough. If I'm gonna keep doing it, we're gonna not hate it so much. So
awesome.
On the wheel, but,
all right, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here for the night, guys. It's about that time. Thanks for tuning in to Flex Friday Live. I still can't say it. Flex Friday Live,
Flex
number
Friday
6.
Live on Thursdays.
I cannot pronounce words.
Flex Friday Live on Thursdays.
I've got a video coming up on Monday. It's going to be a fun adventure, so make sure you tune in Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll do a live premiere. You can join in the chat. It'll be a fun time. Clint?
Yep, for those of you that don't know or were listening earlier, I did the solid axle swap earlier this week. That video is dropping tomorrow. We did record most of the process, so if you're interested, that comes up tomorrow.
Solid axle swap adventure. Casey, what you got coming up on KC250?
Saturday, we've got the long-term EcoDiesel review and my thoughts after owning it for 8 months and putting 12,000 kilometers on it. So we're going to go through some of the things I like.
Time to upgrade to a Gladiator.
Yeah, well, wait till you watch the video.
Awesome. Paul, do you have a video coming up on Epic Adventure Outfitters channel?
No.
All right.
When do I have time? I do not have time.
All right. Well, we're going out next week, and we're going out.
We have a lot of videos on our channel. Check out Epic Adventure Outfitters on YouTube. We have a lot of adventure videos and a lot of build videos, and we'll be doing a walk around and stuff on the new EcoDiesel Gladiator with the giant gorilla. We'll be doing all that, and probably in the next week.
Yeah, and we're going wheeling with the EcoDiesel Gladiator with the gorilla on Tuesday. So
with the gorilla on Tuesday.
With the gorilla with Khan. So there'll be a video coming on both of our channels for that one.
Cool.
Sometime, probably in the new year. So
that's right.
That's how we're at. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out dirtyanddangerous.com to get our merch. Dirtgarage.com. .ca.com. .ca. Dirtgarage.ca if you want some of Clint's merch. If you're a Toyota guy, he's got all your Toyota merch. If you're not a Toyota guy, dirtyanddangerous.com. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.